All right, so today is day 4, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a walk for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, talk to you guys a little bit about how's it been. So as you see, there's cabins here, and there's different things, like stuff that's beautiful, essentially, and most of it is pretty nice. You see a lot of trees, and they're covered in snow. It's snowing right now. So it's super cool. But I'm really excited about tomorrow, which is day 5, end of the experiment. I'm going to have some reflections for sure tomorrow, even more than I have as of right now. But essentially, what I've been noticing is less dependency on the technology, right? So, again, I've switched before from a high-tech phone to a low-tech phone, but now that I don't have a browser, I feel like that's kind of like the next step. Browsers can be really helpful, and I'm not intending to say everybody should quit, the browser and never use it again. But I think just having the browser and having the ability to have, as I've been calling it this week, a fountain of information is the main issue. And I find myself relieved of just being here. I mean, look at that. It's just nice. Nature is relaxing. I'm here with a lot of coworkers. We're here for a meeting. I don't know why they decide to have us in meetings in the cabins, but I think it's a good retreat and a good way to kind of just say, hey, I'm doing something different. Instead of being in a meeting room in the city, take us out to nature. So even though it's cold and it was hard to get here, I'm happy that I came because, we're having the meetings for work, but not only that, I think the best part is just enjoying, the panorama. Yeah. Also, I've been enjoying the vlogs, It's a little bit different than the content that I usually do. And I've done some vlogs before, but not like this. I have had more exciting things this week, kind of like things that I'm exploring. And that's one thing that I'm certainly reminded of today and throughout this last couple of days is that our lives may not be super exciting when we're in front of a screen, but when you find excitement in doing experiments or trying something new, then your life takes a little bit of a different meaning. So I'm really, really happy that I decided to do this experiment and that it's worked out, A couple of things. Being in front of the screen, it's not a bad thing. Like, you can be productive, you can be doing work, and that's stuff that needs to get done. But the excessive amount of use that we transfer and that we dedicate to be connected to that. There's a dog. I don't know if you can see it, probably too far. But essentially, I'm really excited because it has shown me this past couple of days, just 4 days, has shown me that even though I wasn't like cognizant, that I was using so much of my usage to my computer and how much excess that is. There's a lot of excess that we have and that we can get essentially rid of by being intentional. And I'm really happy because that gives me the encouragement that my life is not just going to be zombified, but rather I'm going to be looking for new purposes, new activities. And this week, maybe it's just the boredom that prompts you to talk to people. But I've talked to I usually talk to my friends, we're chatting, or we are like maybe, having a group chat, or maybe a phone call every so often. But this week, maybe it's because of the boredom, right? Like, I was not replacing it with YouTube videos or Netflix documentaries or whatever it is. This week, I've been way more intentional. So here I'm going to show you another part of the camp that we're staying in. I am going to assume this is a lake. It looks like a lake. So here, let me show you guys. So very nice. Kind of like, this is I think a frozen lake essentially. I'm not going to. Yeah, so it's probably a frozen lake, and I'm not going to go in it. In there, there's a lot of snow, as you see. But as I was saying, like, I've talked to my parents more this week than often. I've talked to my friends more often during this past 4 days. I've been connecting with coworkers here, of course. But it's just amazing that this boredom, you can use it for whatever you want, right? Like reading or learning something new, or maybe even coloring or puzzles and stuff like that. And I've done some of that this past couple of days. But for the most part, what I've been doing is just calling friends, talking to people, making sure that I am connected in some sort of way to another human being. And I think that's super exciting because in this age of being disconnected, I think it's just easy to be zombified and to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go on my screen. I'm going to learn what I want to learn. And I'm not going to talk to people. When I went to the PowerPoint party, it was super nice because I talked to a couple of different presenters, on day 2, there were other presentations. Some of them were about body neutrality, neurodiversity. Another one that was super interesting that I would have never, just go and attended, a presentation about the pole lines for electricity. So like how electric current travels and why anime gets it wrong in its representations. It was quite an interesting presentation. But I talked to other people. I wasn't on, kind of like the fountain of information. I was just trying to find interesting things to talk to others. And I think that's what encourages me the most. While the internet can be a point of connection, I think it has been treated as a point of disconnection. And it has been treated as, again, that place where we gather our thoughts, where we learn stuff. And when we say that we're productive, right? But the reality is a little different. We have used it to isolate ourselves. And that's something that I've been learning this week. And of course, there's also like time for recharging. I'm an extrovert, so I like to talk to people. Maybe that's what I've been finding about myself. But maybe you're an introvert and you're like, I don't want to talk to people all the time. And that's okay. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing either. But at the same time, like, it prompts you to do other activities that are more meaningful than scrolling or looking for information on the web. I think tomorrow I'm going to have another reflection. Probably I will try to kind of like go around, and there's a bench here. So I'm going to try to go around tomorrow and maybe give my final reflection. But I know some things that I am going to be implementing in the long term. First thing that I'm going to be implementing is just... Oh, am I blurry? Whatever. Let me see if I can fix it. If not, that's okay. Yeah, there it is. Maybe that's better. So one thing that I'm going to be keeping out of this challenge is connecting with more people. In my deep life chart, I have made community 1 hour. And this past couple of days, I realize community is everything. Like, people around us can give us so much value if we let them into our lives. And if we call our parents, call our friends, call the people that are in our lives, and get to know new people as well. With measure. Yourself, so you know how much people you can handle. I know my wife, for example, like she says like 30 minutes to an hour and a half is the most that she wants to interact with somebody. Unless, it's somebody that she already knows, but like a stranger. And sometimes it can be shorter, like 15 minutes or something like that. But yeah, I'm really, really passionate about this work of disconnecting and reconnecting with society, reconnecting with each other, like as humans, right? And technology is good. Tools are good. But I think this little experiment has prompted me to really realize what matters and to reconsider how I'm living my life. I know it may sound dramatic or whatever, but it is a little bit. It's a little bit different. So I'm really excited about day 5. Again, here in the mountains, there's no friction, there is no signal. So I don't even have a lot of distractions when it comes to like text messages or things like that. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to give you guidelines that I'm going to be keeping for the future, for the near future, and how I'm going to be trying to approach the rest of my year. I am definitely doing this again in February, and I'm going to do it throughout the year. But there are some guidelines that I'm going to adopt for the less rigid, no internet days. And I'm going to be sharing those with you tomorrow, probably here in the cold again. And then I will get back to mountain on Wednesday. I'll probably reply to all the comments that you guys have left. And again, thanks for watching this video. I hope that you find encouragement and that you realize what's important in your life and what you want to dedicate more time to, and what you actually want to be motivated to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, final day.